Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers preview and analysis of this Week 13 game, a pivotal must-win game for the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Baltimore comes into this game 8-3, Pittsburgh 5-5-1. So, gotta have it for Pittsburgh. Let's talk about what to look for in this game. I'll start with the Ravens defense, and I think the way you want to attack them this week if you're the Steelers is vertically. And I, as much as anybody, have talked about the need and basically the requirement for the Steelers to run the ball effectively and efficiently in order for them to be in ball games this season. But I think if there's a week where that game plan to an extent goes out the window, it could be this one. The Ravens secondary is really battered by injuries. They got illness, COVID related stuff, I believe. It's still really uncertain what guys are going to play. It feels like Baltimore isn't even quite sure what guys are going to be available to them in the secondary. They've had some injuries this year to Deshaun Elliott, to Marcus Peters way back early in the season. And so if there's a week where you want to use that short pass game as the extension of the run game and have Ben throw a lot, this is probably the one. He did that last year, threw 51 times to come back and beat the Ravens in that second meeting in 2020. So you still want to try to get the ground game going. Of course, you can still use Najee Harris in the pass game, but the Ravens have a good front overall, and I think you want to avoid the idea of running on first and second down, put yourself in third and long because the Ravens are to me the most chaotic and best kind of blitz in terms of disguise and bluffs and overloads. They're the best at doing those things on third and long, and so their DC Wink Martindale does a great job of disguising and scheming stuff up there against a overall young, inexperienced, and not very good Steelers offensive line, especially in pass pro. That's going to be a big issue. So you always want to stay out of third and long. No team ever wants to go into a game and says, "Let's be in third and seven plus." But I think it's even more important this week because if you're in those situations, Baltimore's going to really be able to dial up their blitzes and play their style of football. And if you try to run on first and second down to quote unquote establish the run, you're inevitably probably going to be in a lot of third and longs. And to me, situational football, last note on the defense, is going to be key in this one. Baltimore's defense overall, it's not been spectacular. It's been good. It's been very good, but it's not been elite. But they're elite situationally. Number one defense on third down. Number one defense in the red zone. So how Pittsburgh overcomes those situational battles again. A, staying out of the third and long situations, and then B, finishing drives off and getting 7 points instead of three. Tougher to do. The Ravens are as good at stopping those teams and holding teams to three as any team in football. But that'll be an obvious key. Offensively for the Ravens with the Steelers defense, obviously a lot of uncertainty there for Pittsburgh. No Joe Hayden, we know that. I'm recording this on Friday evening right now. It's unlikely T.J. Watt plays. There's a chance he could play, so I'm not going to rule that out entirely. And Saturday will be the answer on that. And then Kim Hayward's status up in the air right now due to illness, and so I'm not sure what's going on there. So Pittsburgh, regardless, going to be outmatched, and the talent gap's going to be in Baltimore's favor. So first thing you got to do is stop the run. And to Pittsburgh's credit, they have contained Lamar better than most teams, almost every single team has done so far. But that was with more talented guys. But you can't let Lamar beat you with his legs. And so I think you're going to see that mesh charge where anytime there's a mesh point, anytime that Lamar is reading an end or someone like that, you're going to attack Jackson, even if he hands the football off. You're going to force the give by attacking the quarterback every single time, hitting him because it's legal to do so because he's a runner in that scenario, and force the give and make a Devonta Freeman or a Latavius Murray beat you. They don't have the J.K. Dobbins. They don't have the Gus Edwards. They don't have the talent at running back they had at the start of the year, or even prior to the start of the year when they lost all those guys. You can't let Lamar beat you to the perimeter. And so I think you will see that mesh charge quite a bit in this game to force the give, force these running backs to do their damage. Still, conceptually, overall, the Ravens are going to go heavy. They're going to test the Steelers' run defense, which of course has struggled so much, 31st in football. They're going to create extra gaps with pullers, and they're going to line up with multiple tight ends and a fullback, Patrick Card, number 42, to one side. And so you're defending, three, four more gaps, and you're usually defending against, say, the Chargers, who aren't, quite as heavy in that regard. And so that's going to be a big challenge. You have to be gap sound, and Pittsburgh has not been. And so that's a concern there. With the Ravens passing game, two main guys to watch here, Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. Marquise Brown both have 60 receptions, very similar numbers, 60 receptions each for those guys. And Brown's averaging 12.8 yards per catch, and Andrews is at 12.7 yards per catch. Now, Brown's the vertical guy, and Andrews is the seam guy in terms of vertical space. And so those are the guys you have to watch out for. Defending them easier said than done. And so the battle's going to be, do you want to blitz Lamar a lot in this game? And he struggles against the blitz. That's kind of the book on him. But if you do that, you're going to ISO up your guys in the back end. And again, Joe Hayden not playing in this game is certainly a loss. And so Pittsburgh's tried to blitz less to compensate for that younger secondary, that struggled more in allowing more big plays. But this might be the week to bring pressure. I would say at least about a third of the time. That's what they did last year in Week 8 against the Ravens. They blitzed Lamar 34% of the time, and so I think you're going to see that number probably 34 to 40%. That's my expectation for this game. But overall, Mike Tomlin, Keith Butler, whoever else is formulating that game plan has to really come up with the best plan possible and take some chances, do something different, and hope for some different results. And so it's going to be a struggle, though, just given the talent gap and the injuries and illness the Steelers are dealing with right now. Last note, quickly, get a look at special teams for Pittsburgh trying to make a splash. The Ravens will be sound on special teams. They got a good punter in Sam Cook. They got, great kicker, a future Hall of Famer in my book in Justin Tucker. And so, can Pittsburgh make a splash somewhere? That can be just traditional return game. That can be, again, blocking punts, which has been huge for Pittsburgh the two times they've done it this season. Nearly a third time on that blocked field goal against Green Bay. All those plays did or would have turned the tide in those games. And so, can you get splashed there from the defense? Getting a turnover, stealing a possession, shortening a field, something like that, and then special teams doing something like that would always be welcome, but even more so welcome in the game like this. So overall, my prediction last week, I gave the Steelers a chance, and even though I like the Bengals more on paper, I said I think the Steelers will find a way to win the game, and they did not do that. So this week, I'm sticking with my brain, and I'm going the Ravens. 30-16 is my prediction in this one. Just too much ground game overall, too many weapons offensively for Baltimore and Pittsburgh's defense. It's just not simply played well enough, and I think it will be tough for Pittsburgh to run the ball offensively. And generally, when they've done that, they've not had success as an offense overall. So that's my prediction: 30-16 Ravens in this one. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What is your prediction for this week? Do you think the Ravens, who are favored, will they win this game, or will Pittsburgh pull off the upset and keep their season alive? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. You guys have not done so already. Appreciate listening, and we'll talk to you soon.